template for a union type. So we just finished doing one example of code that processes a union type function. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, great, Marlon, we finished steps 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. But there's something missing there. Step 3. What's step 3? Well, let's motivate it here. Let's say we've gone ahead and gotten our lookup result, the string, working. And we come along and we have another question. Write another function that just says yes or no, do we have a known student after we get back a lookup result, okay? So, yeah, we can go ahead and go back and remember the steps of the template. We have steps per function. We've already done the data definition and examples of the data. We know examples of these lookup results. So we have write some unit tests, purpose signature. Okay, so we can start doing all this for the next example. And what is the next example? Known student. Yeah, so we can do some check expects for it. Great. We can go ahead, that's number 4, 5. We'll go ahead and do the signature and purpose statement and stub it out. And initially our stub, you might say, is just going to be looking like this. In fact, we know that this function should return what type? Looking at the signature, should return a Boolean. So my first idea of stubbing it out would be to go ahead and put some Boolean here. Okay. By the way, the fact that my function is returning a Boolean is going to say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and have the name of my function end with a question mark. That's just a convention in Racket, but it's an awfully handy one. You'll get used to it after a while, and it'll make you really miss the fact that you can't have your Java functions end in a question mark. So, okay. And they're like, great, okay, now let's do step 7 of going and taking this template and writing the actual code. Gosh, I'm given, here I called it ALR, a lookup result. I have one particular lookup result. Well, I need to figure out again what type of lookup result it is. So I'm going to have a 3-way cond, right? And in fact, I know what my 3 questions are going to be. I'm going to ask, am I the first type of lookup result, the second type, or the third type? Am I a string? Not am I, but is ALR a string? Or is it a Boolean? And we just use those questions. And again, there are different questions you could ask that would work equivalently well, but we'll stick with these here. And you're like, wait a minute, any function that processes a lookup result is going to look like this. It's all the stub. It really is going to be a cond with exactly 3 branches. Why 3 branches? Because looking back at our data definition, this was a union of 3 different variants. Okay, something or something or something. So the shape of that data definition is going to influence the shape of our code. We're going to have a cond with exactly 3 branches. And the question of each branch is asking, hey, am I one of these, or am I one of these, or am I one of those? Okay. So, and now I'm going to ask you to write 20 other functions dealing with lookup results. Well, you're going to be using that same cond every single time. So rather than go back and say, hey, I'm going to go, and of course when you write the same thing multiple times, you want to copy paste. Rather than going back and copying, pasting, and then having to remove some things here, we're going to go and add one more step. This is step 3, the template. So we're going to go and add and this is the sort of thing that in the future we're going to do it actually before we start writing any lookup code functions. We're going to say, hey, I have a union type here. Let me make the template that every function handling this union type is going to want to include. So yeah, we can have this 3-way cond with these 3 particular questions, and we'll call that the template for this union type. So let's go back and review our steps of the design recipe. Steps 1, 2, and 3, making a data definition, give examples of that type of data, and then the template, that is, if it's a union type, include a cond with 1 branch per option, per variant, I'll say. Again, a union type, it's one type, lookup result is one type, but there are 3 different variations on that type. Okay, username, the tick symbol, tick unknown, no, what was it? Tick private and false. Okay, so those are 3 variants of our one type. It is 3 types and 1 type simultaneously. How's that for a trinity for you? Okay, so that's steps 1, 2, 3, and then steps 4, 5, 7, 8. And you know, when we go ahead and make the stub body, we'll copy the template over for these union types. That is the design recipe updated for including union types. Thank you.